Yes, the intervention piece that everybody's trying to implement for the street, the problem of it is that too many people got their own piece. They're trying to make one puzzle, and it never worked. So the streets, you got to understand what the young people are looking for, especially I used to work in the gang unit for the district. I was the gang coordinator for the whole district of our city schools. And what it is that a lot of these children, when they're out in the street is giving them an opportunity to try to make a name for themselves, although it's a negative way, but to them it's a positive way. Because the average child today, you got to understand this, are not capable of reading and apprehending what people think they ought to be able to comprehend. There are some people that can speak Spanish but cannot read Spanish. There are some people that can read English, can speak English rather, but cannot read. So we're in a society that the streets have got more advanced than those of us who tried to advance the people who will be living in the streets and around the streets. So the streets have cultivated them, have molded them. And a lot of people are refusing to see this until it's too late. In other words, we have become thermometers instead of thermostats. Thermostats change things. Thermometer only register things. So we only become proactive after something has happened. That's what you call a thermometer. But a thermostat is in control of making things better. Make it hot or make it cold. I'm just using some metaphors now. And this is what's happening. It's not going to get it. And let me say this. And let me go back to the biblical perspective. Jesus spoke of this. Even Paul said that in the end time, there would be a great lawlessness. People would have no respect for the law. It's in your Bible. 1 Timothy 3 talks about this. All of these things that we are witnessing today are things that was prophesied to us that these things would happen. And what it was, we went to sleep on it. We became the Rip Van Winkles of our society. We slept on things that we should have been awake for. And that's my take on that.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Because, a lot of the young people that's actually in gangs, they are trying to make a name for themselves. And a lot of them feel like they're not loved at home too. And they're not praised. So they get in the street to get praise for the things that they're doing.
But the Bible said there'll be a great falling away from love. Love will wax cold. People only use love in the form of language, or languishness, that we use that. People use love. I love that car. I love that dog. I love that dress. The word love now is so loosely being used, but people don't know the true meaning of what is love. Tina Turner said something great years ago. What love has to do with it, and that's where we are. People don't know the true meaning of love. Right. Because a lot of people grew up in that. And let me say this, because I use this big word if you don't mind. There's a difference between heterogeneous people and homogeneous people. The reason why young people are at a great loss because we have become heterogeneous people where we are disconnected from them. Homogeneous simply means we have the same likeness where you can touch me. You can feel me. You understand me. Those of us who once lived in the hood don't even want to ride back through the hood. We want to disconnect from the foundation that made us where we are today. And that's why young people are lost. They are heterogeneous. We don't know how to reach them. People want to go to places where you feel once you make it, folks are on your level now. I can eat at the 5-star restaurant. What about the Burger King? What about the time you was just thankful to go to McDonald's? People move out from among those who need us. God told Ezekiel this in the Bible. Ezekiel 37, God said this. He looked at those bones. And God was going to diminish them. Ezekiel walked around those bones 40 days. And finally, God asked them a question. Can these bones live? Not no new bones. Can these bones live? The uneducated bones, the broken bones, those with no hope. Can they live, Ezekiel? And Ezekiel said, God, only you know. He's okay. Since you put it back on me, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Preach to them. Not at them, but preach to them. He was in a valley of dry bones. Not just a valley that was demographically fixed between two mountains that made the valley. The valley was in the way they was thinking, low in thoughts, low in character. Just a low valley of people who had lost hope and self-esteem. And God asked the question, can they live? And a lot of us today who have made it now, we don't think these bones can live because we don't want to deal with them. I'm above it. When I was in the seminary, I told my professor, quit calling me African American. I'm scared of the African American people and black folks. Call me color. And they looked at me because I was in a predominantly white school. They said, what you mean? I said, when we was color, we loved each other. You can go next door and get a cup of sugar from Miss Smith. When you didn't have no butter, Mama said, go down there and ask Miss Ada. She gave you butter. When we was color, you could put a note on the door. The side door open. Key under the mat. Nobody was going to break in. But when we agitated who we are, now we don't like each other. We don't know each other. You might have my complexion, but you don't know me. Mbete said in his book how they was able to divide the Africans was when they took the drums from the Africans. So when they took the drums from the Africans, they could communicate no more. And that's what's wrong with our black race. We can't communicate with those who are beneath us. We don't have the same drum.